Hello, I'm Eric. Many of you know me as the meditation guy. And today I thought I would introduce a practice. We have not, some of you may be familiar with it, but I have not facilitated it here at the church. And it's a practice that's probably 5 or 6 centuries old, I believe, maybe a little more. Out of the Buddhist tradition, it's called Tonglen. It's a rather challenging practice, and I'll guide us through this. So the basic idea is we'll be breathing in the pain and suffering and exhaling out light and healing. And I'll just walk us through this, but that's the basic idea. It's kind of the opposite of what we typically think. So as we breathe in pain and suffering, the love in our heart is purifying that suffering, and then we're extending back out as we exhale that healing light into the world. So if you want to take a comfortable seat, get your feet flat on the floor so the body's kind of in a place of alertness. And I'll just begin just noticing bringing your attention to sound right now. Eyes can be closed. And just notice the sound as it comes into form and then slowly dissolves into silence. So this is bringing your attention into the body right now, maybe noticing contact points of the feet, and the back, the buttocks sitting on the chair. The hands on the lap. So this is bringing the attention into the body. And now noticing the breath. And as you breathe in, be present with breathing in. As you breathe out, be present with breathing out. And you can acknowledge any distracting thoughts or emotions as they arise, and just let them be, and return back to the breath. Following the sensation of the breath, maybe in the belly, the chest, or the nose, whatever is easiest for you. Now link your intention to the breath, and on the exhale, breathe out light and basic goodness. Your wish to help alleviate pain and suffering. On the inhale, invite a smoky darkness of negativity and suffering, and allow that suffering to enter your heart, where it will be transformed into light. So again, on the inhale, on the exhale, breathe out light of basic goodness, your wish to help alleviate pain and suffering in the world. And on the inhale, invite this smoky darkness of negativity and suffering to enter your heart, where it will be transformed into light. And now imagine our initial object of compassion is a frightened and angry parent, grandparent, son, daughter, relative, or friend who have been impacted by gun violence. specifically the violence at the Tops Friendly Market in Buffalo, New York, and the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. So just bringing those circles of beings who've been impacted by this violence in both Buffalo and Uvalde. And on the exhale, breathe out light of basic goodness to these individuals, a wish to alleviate their pain and suffering. And on the inhale, invite this smoky darkness of negativity and suffering that they're feeling into your heart, where it can be transformed into light. And once again, exhaling that light of basic goodness to all those impacted in these two tragedies. Breathing in the heaviness and the suffering, and breathing out your affectionate heart, radiating soothing, gentle light beams that touch and reassure and comfort all those impacted by gun violence. Breathing in that heaviness and pain and transforming it into light. And exhaling, radiating out soothing, gentle beams of light that reassure and comfort all those impacted by gun violence. And we expand this circle of goodwill, extending this imagination of healing to all beings suffering from both anger and loneliness, isolation and loss. Breathing in the heaviness, transforming that into light, and exhaling rainbow healing light to all beings in need. And now just relaxing back into the body, into the breath, feeling the heart open, radiating out equanimity, radiating out kindness, radiating out forgiveness, radiating out compassion, radiating out transformation towards wholeness for all beings. May all beings be happy and joyful. May all beings be healthy in mind, healthy in body, healthy in spirit. May all beings be free from suffering and free from the causes of suffering. May all beings be happy and joyful. May all beings be healthy in mind, healthy in body, healthy in spirit. May all beings know inner peace and outer peace. May all beings be free from suffering and free from the causes of suffering. And we just end with ourselves. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful. May I be free from suffering. And then just bringing the breath back into the belly now for a minute. Noticing the sensation of the breath in the belly. And have a sense of dropping your energy down from the belly, down through the legs, down into the feet, down into the earth, connecting with this unconditionally loving Mother Earth, reconnecting to our wholeness of this human body with this Mother Earth body, feeling her loving embrace. And this coming back into the belly, taking a few breaths. And wiggling the toes and the fingers. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome. Thank you for your patience with our technical difficulties. Are we on Facebook Live at all? No. So no Facebook Live, but I do welcome all of you here on Zoom as well. Thank you for joining in, and thank you for driving out here on this absolutely beautiful, gorgeous day. The topic of my talk today is abundance. And the way it works, at the beginning of the church year, we pick a overarching topic for all of my talks, and then we break it up to subtopics each month, and then each Sunday that I speak. And today, we decided a long time ago that this would be abundance. So that's how I started out preparing. And then, on Tuesday, there was this shooting in Uvalde, Texas. And it just didn't feel right anymore to talk about abundance. These are the things that I was going to elaborate on. There is a verse in the Bible. They're close enough, both in the Gospel of Matthew and Luke, where it says that those who have, to them more shall be given, and those who have not, even that which they have shall be taken away from them. There are some people who believe that this refers to knowledge. Those who have knowledge, to them more shall be given. Those who have got no knowledge, even what they think they have, shall be taken away from. I don't fall in that category. That's not what I think it is about. I think it's about a mental state. If you are a positive person, a positive thinker of possibilities, then more shall be given to you. More possibilities will be opening up to you. You will see the potential increases, keeps increasing. And then if you're a negative person, a no-can-do person, then your world will just keep shrinking, shrinking, and shrinking. That is my interpretation. Not to say it's the interpretation, but whatever. It's the Bible anyway, and who knows what was said. So I was going to talk about a mentality of abundance. I was going to talk about where there is a will, there is a way. And also, where there is no will, there is no way. And then the shooting happened, and I just couldn't, you understand. And just like you, I also, and I assume just like you, but I have been on a roller coaster of all sorts of emotions. I cycled through anger, tremendous disappointment, rage, apathy. It's like, here's another one, and guess what? Nothing's going to change. Hopelessness. Then I thought, no, I can't live there. I have to be on the side of solution. I have to find a way to apply myself to change, because this can't be anymore. Think about this. It's one thing that those kids were gunned down, died, as well as the teachers. That's one thing. So there's a bunch of parents, siblings, extended family, friends who are in deep mourning. That's one thing. What about the surviving kids? We all know about survivor's guilt. We also know that there's no solution in place right now. So that means that the terror those kids feel, there's no justification for them to let go of that fear. They know that if and when they return to that school, any day this could happen. Just think about this, that our little children are no different than cops who go to work every day, cops who chose to stand in the line of fire. It was their decision. They do get to wear bulletproof vests, though. But the same way a cop goes to work and they don't know whether they will return home, our children go to school not knowing if they're going to rejoin their family after school. What sort of generation are we raising? Who cares about that? We are raising children who already have PTSD. We're raising an anxious, neurotic generation. It's on us. It's not on them. And what I don't understand, why are our streets quiet? Why aren't we out there in massive hordes? We need to build a tsunami of rage, of presence, of demanding change. Our politicians are purchased by the gun industry. They have no motivation whatsoever to bring about change. Instead, they are sneaky and come up with perverted ways to say, oh, thoughts and prayers. How perverted to say that to keep things the same. It's disgusting. So we must build a resistance, and we must demand change, and we must be in the streets and at the Capitol and the senators' homes and demand change. Because it is every parent's wish and desire that the children will have a better life than the parents themselves. Isn't that true? Who here is a parent and doesn't want that? And what are we doing instead? Raising a neurotic, terrorized, fearful, anxiety-filled generation. For what? Men wrote the Second Amendment. And they were dead wrong because they couldn't have foreseen the creation of the AR-15. Heck, they knew nothing about bullets. Men wrote the Second Amendment. So humanity must change it. We must amend it. We can't allow this because it doesn't have to be this way. Churches can be attacked any moment. Schools, grocery stores, look at us. The crazy just doesn't stop. And then if crazy gets an AR-15, hold of an AR-15, then the pain just keeps building from generation to generation. This gets passed on. So it's good to know that we are not alone with our rage, with our disappointment, the grief. And it's good to know that together we can build a movement so strong that nobody, not even the heavens, can ignore it. And in fact, that is what is required of us. We are uniquely called to be part of the solution. And sure, it is upon us to vote in politicians who will be on the side of gun reform. But what about the politicians that are already sitting there and they're opposing with every fiber of their being? They are the ones who should have the kind of fear that our children live with. They deserve it. Our children don't. So it is them that we must apply such pressure upon that they have no choice but choose the love of our children over the love of money and guns. It must. I don't know how to do that. All I know that together we can. All I know that if we put our hearts, our minds, and our wills together, then we can. And in comes my abundance talk. Where there is a will, there is a way. Where there is no will, there is no way. So it turns out that our mentality matters. That this mentality of abundance, that there is possibility, that there's a world out there we can create that is safe, where such deaths no longer need to happen and such terror doesn't have to be instilled in our children, people of color, minorities of all kinds. If there is a will, there is a way. So we do have to work on that. We can't give into apathy. That is just not an option. I understand that it washes over us every now and then, and it's not an option. And that's why it's important for us to be in community. Because when apathy washes over me, you are pumped up. And then you can tell me, gee, just follow in my footsteps. And when apathy washes over you, then I'm there to pick you up. Together, we can what we cannot do alone. Together, we can what we cannot do alone. And we must come together. We must have the will, and we must change. We must change this world of ours. Because otherwise, oh dear God, what's next? So that's what encourages me. That's why when I wake up in the morning, when I feel down, I work on myself. And I remind myself, I could in the past, I can again. And again, and again, till the work gets done. That's what we are called for. That's the card was dealt to us. So here we are. How are we going to do it? How are we going to find a way? Because we must, and I know that we will. And so it is.